Welcome everybody. Just waiting for folk to join us. We might just wait just a moment or two. It is a stunningly cold evening where I live in Melbourne. I don't know about whereabouts you are, but it is chilly and getting colder by the minute, I suspect. I've only just taken my big woolly coat off because it looks like I'm speaking from a cave, so I thought that probably isn't a good look. I'll attend to my my capacity to regulate my temperature if I can, as long as I don't start shivering. So I hope you are all well and safe and warm wherever you are. Well, perhaps we might make a start. I think people will join us as they can. So by now you know me, so I won't go into a... Although I notice there's a Murray Paterson. I wonder if we're related on my screen. I'm just noticing for the first time. So Murray's my name. And I'm going to lead you in tonight's practice. And the practice is about mindfulness of emotions, which I think is a really interesting topic. So we'll just talk about that just for a little bit before we start the practice. If you're very familiar with the Alleviate app, you will know that there's two particular tracks about emotions, and one's mindfulness of emotions, the other one's healthy emotions. And the one we're doing tonight, the mindfulness of emotions, is really it's got elements of the daily practice in it. And what we'll be attending to in this practice is how we feel in our body. The other track, the happiness of emotions, is more about your reflections, your cognitive experience of emotions, if you like, and how we think about emotions and we name our emotions, and we're quite capable of doing that. But this one focuses on the experience in the body. And that's really important because I think of it as the foundation to any kind of work with emotion, any kind of emotional work in any case. And why is it so? Well, because when you sit and you attend to your body, if you regard your body as a vessel for holding everything, it contains everything of your experience, both historical and current, and of course, sadly, much of contemplation of the future, which we all engage in from time to time, sometimes usefully, sometimes not so usefully. But thinking of your body as a container for everything. So it's a container of your physical experience in life, but it's also a container for your emotional experience in life. So that's both historical and current. And I think what's really neat about this practice we'll do tonight is that it has the benefit of bringing you into your present moment. So before I just chat a little bit more about it, I'd like you to do this little exercise for me. It's not strictly a meditation exercise, but I think it's a useful one. So if you'd like to, just compose yourself. You might like to shut your eyes. It's just for a moment or two, and just take stock of how you feel in your body right now. Just for a moment or two, just a little internal reflection. What is your body telling you? So in doing that little reflection, I'm curious, and I want to ask you a question. Of course, this is a little bit difficult in this model of engaging with people on a computer, but what I'd like to see is some thumbs up if you discovered what you expected to discover in your body. So did you actually discover what you thought you would discover? So if the answer is yes, yes, and perhaps a thumbs down if it's a no. So mostly thumbs up. That's interesting. That probably tells me and us that we've got a lot of competent meditators in our group tonight, because when you ask that question of somebody who's not really done much practice before, and they take a moment to attend to their physical sensation, they go, oh, I had no idea. I'm actually feeling a bit tense, or I'm feeling a bit stressed, or I'm feeling a bit tired, or I'm feeling quite joyful, or whatever is that sense that comes to you in your body. And so as meditators, you will know from your own experience how important it is to attend to the feelings of the body, because it's the first sign of how you're responding to the world. It's before it becomes an intellectual awareness, before it becomes a cognitive thing. You simply react. If you think about a time when you've been in an experience which is an unpleasant one, And what do you notice about your body? Well, you notice it changes. For example, you might notice your breath is getting a little bit shallow or a little bit faster. You might notice a change of temperature if you're feeling a bit heated. And it might be all sorts of things. If those are the sorts of conditions you're noticing, it tells you something about your body's reaction to that experience. So it's not to say that's necessarily bad or necessarily good. It's just saying it is very powerful to be aware of how you are in the moment, as opposed to, oh yeah, yesterday this happened to me and I've just been thinking about that and I probably didn't say the right thing. I've just thought about that. Okay, wouldn't it have been really good if in the moment you could have said the right thing rather than kind of trip over yourself and discover it later? So building that awareness through your daily practice is really powerful, because of the benefit that it brings is that it allows you to change course in the moment, to course correct, if you like, to go, I'm feeling a bit irritated. Just take a moment. Just let your wiser self speak or assert itself. Let yourself calm because you notice this change in your body, and then probably your response will be much more thoughtful and much more useful. I suspect I'm teaching to the converted, as your thumbs up indicated, but I do think it's worth just thinking about that. Just really appreciating the value your body gives you in telling you things about your experience before you're even kind of intellectually aware of what's going on. So I think that's an extraordinary thing. And I guess the final thing, just to comment on that, is that for those of you who are regular meditators, you'll probably have had the experience of just having a little more time to make a decision. If you are faced with something that's quite fraught or challenging in some way, often meditators say things like, well, I just feel like I've got a moment to contemplate my response before I respond. But it's not that you're thinking about it, going, oh yeah, I wonder when I'll respond to this one. That's an interesting question. I'll just have a little think about it. You don't do that. You just simply, and you have time. You don't rush into your response necessarily. You're more likely to be more thoughtful. So it's really just to illustrate the value of paying attention to your feelings in your body. And of course, as you all know, we'll have feelings, but we are not our feelings and we're not defined by them. They simply come and they simply go. With some body experiences, of course, perhaps some of you have had experience of some unwelcome body feelings that stay with you longer than you would like. So that's enough about the introduction. So I'm looking forward to this session. I'll have a quick drink of water. And so just invite you now to settle into your position. So finding that position of comfort and upright and balance, if you can. Feel free to adopt a position that you're most comfortable in, whether that's sitting or lying. Just find that usual comfortable place. And if you can, just turn off any, or turn down, or shut away any other distractions that might be calling for your attention if you can. So any phones, put them out of reach. Television's off, of course. Shut the door if you have the privilege to do that. So just take a moment now, adjusting your body. Your back just as upright as your body is comfortable being. And then you probably find it best to have your feet flat on the floor, a little apart, and cupping your hands together or resting them on your thighs, whichever is more comfortable for you. And then when you're ready, you might just like to close your eyes and turn your thoughts inwards. And remembering that this is a time to connect with any emotions you may be feeling in your body. To simply feel them. And to recognize and acknowledge them as they are. And then, in your own time, if you wish to, you can flow on gently into stillness. But while remembering your intention to do this practice, just a gentle reminder to yourself of why you're doing this exercise at all. Just bringing that thought or intention to mind. And once you've done that, just aiming to let go of any effort or any striving to make something in particular happen. Just doing this exercise in an alert and relaxed way, and being curious to observe what happens. And now, when you're ready, and in your own way, just take a few more moments to consciously relax your body once again. Perhaps that feeling of the muscles softening and loosening, relaxing, releasing. Just simply letting go. And perhaps a deeper breath or two might help. And as you breathe out, just notice that natural feeling of relaxing and releasing a little more with each out breath. Just simply letting go. Letting go. And now just noticing any sounds that are coming to you into your awareness from outside the space you're in right now. Just simply noticing. Here you are in this particular place at this particular time. And there are sounds that come and they go. Just aim to simply notice them. Aiming to be curious, to be open, spacious. Just letting any sounds come when they're ready and go when they're ready. Simply noticing them and leaving them as they are, just as they are. Aiming to let go of any judgment or commentary. Just aware of these sounds. Simply aware. And now bring your attention more particularly into the room, the space you're in right now. And notice any sounds that may be coming from within that space itself. And at the same time, just disregarding any sounds from the outside. Simply now focusing your attention on any sounds coming from within the space itself. And again, aiming to let go of any judgment or commentary or expectation. Simply being aware of any sounds as they come and as they go. Just leaving them as they are. And bring your attention even more particularly to your own body. And if you listen very carefully, maybe you can notice the subtle sounds of your own breathing. Again, being curious, free of judgment or commentary, leaving them as they are. Simply noticing any subtle sounds as you do breathe in and as you do breathe out. And simply allow your breath to take up whatever rhythm feels natural for you, quite effortlessly. Effortlessly. And as you continue to hold your awareness on your breath, notice too what sensations there are as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Feel the air touching your nostrils. The slight movements of your chest and your tummy. And the gentle sound of the breath. And again, free of any judgment or commentary. Just simply aware. Pure awareness. And now ask yourself the question, how am I feeling? And to check in with your feelings, just gently bring your awareness to your central line, the feeling line of your body. That area from your throat right down along the central line, just in front of the spine to your tailbone, the feeling line of your body, deep inside your body. And again, with the intention to check in with how you are feeling, with an interest to focus on any sensations in the body that accompany those feelings, gently ask yourself the question, how am I feeling? And so now bring your awareness more particularly to your throat. Feel into it, the area around the throat, and with a gentle curiosity, explore the sensations in your throat. What do they feel like? Are they tingly, tight, or empty? Hard or soft? Comfortable or uncomfortable? Any sensations at all, just aiming to simply notice them and to leave them as they are, to simply be aware. To simply feel them. And as you do feel into your throat, feel also the flow of the breath. Simply breathing in and breathing out and going with it. Just simply going with it. And now bring your attention to the center of your chest, just feeling for any sensations. Maybe a slight pressure, an ache, a tightness, or softness, or warmth. Maybe some openness to the breath, or maybe some resistance to the breath. And perhaps it feels soft and comfortable. Exploring these bodily sensations free of any judgment, aiming to leave them as they are. And as you do feel into your chest, feel also the flow of your breath, the simple flow of breathing in of breathing out, and going with it, going with it. And now bring your awareness to your upper tummy, the area of your solar plexus. And again, ask yourself, how am I feeling? And this time, just noticing any sensations at all in the upper tummy. No need to analyze whether the sensations come from a physical cause or an emotional cause. Just simply being curious. What sensations are there in this part of my body? How am I feeling? Is there a softness? A tightness? Maybe some shakiness? Maybe numbness? A feeling of a void or an emptiness? Perhaps even a fullness? Whatever sensations you find there, as you feel into your upper tummy, feel also the flow of your breath. The simple flow of breathing in and breathing out and going with it. Simply going with it. And now bring your awareness down to your lower tummy, around and behind the navel, and lower down into the tummy and the genital region. Just exploring any of the sensations in this lower part of your tummy. And as you do feel into your lower tummy and genital region, feel also the flow of your breath, the simple flow of breathing in and of breathing out, and going with it, going with it. And now open your awareness even more and taking the whole feeling line of your body once again. Your throat, chest, solar plexus, lower tummy and genital region. It's like we keep the feelings company with our curiosity and our presence. Just sitting with whatever feelings are there and leaving them as they are. And maybe some areas do feel more intense or more vulnerable. We just aim to sit with whatever feelings are there and simply leave them as they are, free of any judgment or commentary. Simply leaving them as they are. And as we do notice the feelings in our central line, noticing too the feeling of the flow of the breath, the simple flow of breathing in and breathing out and going with it, just going with it. come towards the end of this meditation, just allow your breathing to become a little stronger, perhaps a deeper breath or two, moving your fingers and toes a little, a gentle stretch. And when you're ready, just let your eyes gently open once again. Well, thank you, everybody. I hope you found that useful.